Greetings, I'm Epictetus, and this is Epic Tech, and welcome back to Empyrion, where we are going to continue working on this ship. I have actually been doing some work, and I've come up with some interesting stuff. I also moved some things out here just to make it a little bit easier to get to. Let's take a look. So this is my engine room so far, and for right now, it's just powering lights, basically. I threw a little bit in there, but it's not using too much power because we don't have much on here. So I've got this central room, or the central hallway. This goes up to the bridge. We'll keep working on this. I've been throwing a little bit of decorative stuff here and there. Over here is the new and improved captain's quarters, where I've got a sitting room and a big sign that says Epic Tech, because why not? And then in here, you'll find a bed and a little desk, and then a bathroom, because why not? As you can imagine, I still have a lot of, like, texturing and coloring to do, which I will be doing, don't worry. In here, I've got my kitchen slash hangout lounge, whatever. You can put a big, you know, it's all just things. I've been having fun. I want it to be both functional and pretty, you know. And I just realized these are backward. Yes, let's make them slightly lighter. So we still have a lot to do. Oh yeah, and there's stairs, and the stairs go up to an undetermined upper floor. Haven't decided what to do. Oh yeah, and this. Anybody understand the logic? I'm curious if anybody understands the logic of why an O2 station has to be 2 stories tall on a capital ship, while on like a hover vessel it can be just a little tiny thing. I don't understand. Alright. So we've got a lot more work to do, and I had some really good suggestions and really good all kinds of things in the comments. One is the reason that my repair station over there worked and didn't work up in space was because it has to be turned off. Oh, why are my thrusters on? Why are those thrusters on? I don't remember turning that off and then not turning it, or I don't remember turning that on and then not turning that off again. Just wasting power up here. That's ridiculous. Yeah. Shut it down. Was I having the constructor do something? No. Weird. Did I just use all the fuel? Nah, it's fine. Okay. Oh, I should probably address a couple of the things that people asked about. The first thing is people said, it's a capital vessel, it shouldn't be small. Because I am trying to design this as somewhat small. And I understand your concern. I don't want to make something giganto. I want to make something that, well, I want to be able to still fly around in the atmosphere, have a whole bunch of guns that destroy things, and not worry too much about weight and fuel and all that kind of thing. I don't know. Well, I might change my mind later. Also, this is not the final location of the core. That's just where it's just there because I haven't moved it. I'm thinking I will probably end up putting it somewhere around, like, up here or something like that. And this is not the outside of the ship. Nothing you see here, except for the windows and possibly, I think these right here. Let's see. Yeah, these combat steel blocks are the outside of the ship, but the windows are not. Wait, no, the windows are. However, I did have a suggestion that instead of using windows like that, I should be using vents, or shutters, sorry. Do I have shutters? I thought I had a whole bunch of them laying around. Yes, I do. I have a whole bunch of these shutters. And people were saying that, rightly so, an armored window block has 1,000 hit points, while a shutter has 1,200 hit points. And there are good reasons to use those. For example, we could place them like this, and they would protect the windows. I want transparent. I want to be able to see through them. I think this is good. But I do like the idea of having these here to kind of have extra protection. There's still a lot more to be done on the outside of the ship, but I want to keep working on the inside of the ship right now. You might also notice that I have made this hallway look a lot larger by using angled and half blocks and that kind of thing. I like it a lot better. I'm also keeping the fuel tanks like closer to the inside of the ship, so if we take fire, they won't get blowed up. And then of course there's the generator that I also don't want to get blowed up, so there's a lot of space around it. We're also going to do a little bit more back here. Oh, one other thing that people mentioned is if you hit N, this is where I've been doing all the symmetry planes and that kind of thing. Under debug, you can show structural integrity. And it will show, well, structural integrity. So as I was building this thing, I should have been doing that to kind of get an idea of how bad the structural integrity was while I was working. So anyway, and the reason that structural integrity is all red is simply because it's a dynamic thing right now. It's just sitting on this cement. So up here, we're looking down, you can see we're looking down into the bridge. So this is going to be an enclosed room right here. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this room, but it's going to be something. And I've already done just a little bit of shaping on it. I'm thinking that this right here is going to have a layer of armor above it, and that's it. So this will be the top of the ship at this point, but then it's going to continue to kind of go up-ish, and we're going to add a couple more stories on this. Let's make sure that back here in the mechanical area we don't have, or we have plenty of room for what we're working on. Because I need storage. Oh, that's what I want up here. That makes perfect sense. Up here will be storage. Yes. So I'm going to go grab some cargo things. I've always kind of wondered if this would work. I want to try something here real quick. If I rotate a couple of these guys like this, if I go like that, and then I rotate this way, yes, I can walk between them, which means that I now have kind of these two rows. So I can do that, and then maybe right here. So I can put one there. And I want to see how that looks from underneath. Yeah, it looks fine. I'm okay with that. I would like something that looks a little more structurally sound, though. I know there's a lot of options. I had one comment that said that I could replace all of my, floors with cargo boxes and things like that, which is great, but and it's a really good idea. Don't get me wrong, but especially with this build, I'm really working on making it look nice as well as work nice. I think I kind of want to do something like this. Can I get through here? I can. Okay. That looks a little bit more, I don't know. Like I said before, structurally sound. And then maybe what I'll do is put kind of a window up here to look down into, this area. But I'm going to have walls here, or should I do Catwalks. Ooh, I think I want to do catwalks. Do I have any catwalks? Oh, that's right. It's part of the railing block, and I used all of those around the outside of this dock. So I need to make a few of these. Luckily, they're pretty cheap. So I can put in these walkways like that, and like this. Then there's these walkway slopes. We can throw in a couple of these like here, there. Yeah, that's looking good. So I like that look. That kind of gives me access to any of the equipment and machinery in here. And then I can very quickly run up and grab stuff out of storage. And hey, if I do this, I do that on this side as well. It kind of hides the fact that that oxygen thing is there. I can even go like that. There we go. And then I can put everything kind of around those. This will be the walkway. Yeah, that works. Okay. So I'll put a large constructor right here. Yeah. That's nice. There we go. So we'll put an ammo box there and there. I don't like this. This is bugging me. I want to do something else with that. And I'm thinking that there's got to be some other shape in here I can use that'll look better. I mean, I could do something like this and then put... I wish they had something thinner than a half cube. Oh, they do. It's called a wall. Okay, never mind. Ignore me. So I could do something like that, and then we'll do something with the texturing to make it look a little nicer. I don't know. Maybe once the ceiling's on, something better will come up. So we've got fuel tanks. We've got a constructor. I looked into adding solar panels to this, but that's not an option. They're only available for bases. Understandable. I mean, it's a balance thing, I think. So what else do I need? Oxygen tanks, armor locker, gravity generator. Okay, I almost forgot the gravity generator. I'm going to need an armor locker. We should also find a good spot for the core, and I'm thinking up there might be a good spot. Let's go get rid of the other one. There we go. And we'll have that nice and surrounded, and we'll even make it look pretty up there. And then let's put in a gravity generator. Okay, and we need to turn that off. There we go. I was just going to waste power here. And then we're going to need some oxygen tanks. Let's put a couple of those here. Actually, I could kind of stick them in here. Yeah, let's do that. I think I want my cockpit to be as far forward as possible. So I started to shape this, but I shaped it all with hardened steel blocks, and I want nothing but combat steel on the outside of the ship. So I think I'm going to actually remove all of these. And we're going to put in some just basic steel blocks. Nice and square. And then we're going to put this right up in front. There we go. I also want to make sure I have an armor locker where I can access it fairly easily. I thought about putting it in the captain's quarters, but there's not a whole lot of room left in here. I think I'm going to do the armor locker up here on the bridge. For now, I'm going to stick it right there, but I'm not going to leave it there. That's just to remind me later, because that's a horrible place for it. I've actually got some ideas for having multiple armor lockers. Also, people were mentioning, rightly so, that I need to make sure I have a way to get onto the ship when I don't have like jetpacks or, you know, that kind of thing. some way to get from the ground to the ship, and I've got a couple of ideas for that. This is also going to be a lower to the ground ship than the other one was anyway. We're standing basically one floor above where this thing is going to end. I'm going to have one layer of combat steel underneath this, and then I'm going to have something very small. There's a couple of different landing gear. Actually, let's see if I have a spare one. I want to take a look. So the landing gear have several different options, and I think I'm going to use something along these lines. I thought there was a shorter one than that. Yeah, so I'll either use this one or I'll use this one. Do these have different armor values? 50, 50. No, they're 50 all the way around. I might not do landing gear at all. I might just stick with heavy armor or combat armor. Build something out of combat armor. I think I want the warp drive right here. I'm going to go steal the one from the MBT. I always forget just how big the warp drive is. It's gigantic. I want it to be like this, but the other way up. Like that. Yeah. That should look sufficiently impressive as you walk up to the core and you find the warp drive sitting right there. And then we'll just extend the back of this. Ooh. Never noticed that there's a big sphere in the middle of it. It's pretty cool. And this should give some extra room for expansion and that sort of thing. We might even be able to put something at the back and land a shuttle of sorts back here. Oh, that's right. I always forget that there's a little bit of radiation coming out of that. I think I can stand underneath it. Yeah, it's just if I'm up right next to it. It's very hot and generates radiation. So it's good to have it up there and not down here. Okay, that'll be good. Now we're going to need a warp tank. Yeah, I'm going to do it like that. And then that kind of... this kind of shears off right back here, and we can actually put our wall back here. Also, a little bit of an air gap wouldn't hurt. So if we do this, then hopefully if this block gets damaged, it shouldn't do any damage to this, because there's a little bit of an air gap there. I don't know if that's how it works or not, but I'm going to go on that assumption. And if I need to punch holes, you know, for windows and that kind of thing, I can do that later. But this should give us plenty of expansion room in the future. This will be good. I think I want to do that whole air gap idea everywhere. Let me get some more steel blocks. Okay, we're going to have to do something different here, though. Because these... yeah. What can we do? I think... let's see, is there a... this block. This is the one that I want. There. Yeah, perfect. There we go. So we got a nice little corner there. We've got air gaps all the way around, which means we'll be able to get back here, and I don't know why we'd want to get back there, but we can. You know, for fixing damage or whatever. We can fill up our oxygen tanks, because I think we have... oh, good grief. We have ridiculous quantities of oxygen. We even have quite a bit of fuel. I haven't even grabbed the bulk of it. And I think I'll leave this cargo box right here for air and pentaxid and probably some spare fuel as well. Okay, I think I've got most of the ceiling done and the walls. I'm going to have a hard time with some of this stuff. like these little weird corners and things, but it should work out. We'll figure it out. I'll have to play with that. I'm liking this design so far. Definitely has some work to do. But overall, it's working pretty well. It's working pretty well. Mostly now what I need to do is get some thrusters on here and see if I can lift it up and start working a little bit on the shroud on the outside. I've got mediums, I've got extra large, I've got small. Let's get at least a couple of more extra larges going. Let's see, do I have all the stuff for it? Ooh, I do. Nice. Extra large is definitely on the back because I want acceleration. I always forget how big these things are. That's crazy. Okay. Should I do 2 then? Let's do that. Let's do... Is that centered? I don't think that's centered. This is not Space Engineers. There we go. That's centered. Good grief. Those are huge and I love it. So if I start with doing something like this, kind of a line of them for left and right. You know, it might make sense to start building stuff here. I think I'm going to do that. Since I have an advanced constructor on me, let's just put it right there. I just realized these mediums will be just fine. Because we still have another layer of armor underneath. So those mediums are not sticking through. I mean, just graphically a tiny bit right there. But the thing is, we're going to be surrounding that with armor. And so it's really not an issue. Alright, so let's see if we can get this thing up off the ground. Okay, that is definitely not what I wanted to do. What is going on? I mean, fair enough, I forgot to put any kind of rotation on this. How was I able to rotate? So Q and E are doing nothing, and I can't actually rotate the ship. But O still works, which is nice. Anyway, let's go ahead and lower this down. Just a little bit. And then I'm going to hop out and hit Y, which shuts off all the power, so we're not going to waste any fuel, but wonderful Empyrion physics means that it's still hovering. So this thing was able to lift off with these 8 medium thrusters without a problem. I didn't even try going forward because it probably would have gone very, very fast. Let's throw on a couple of these RCSs. Right. It would be nice to be able to enter my own ship, wouldn't it? I have an idea. I have a crazy idea. Okay, it's not that crazy. It's really just an idea. Perfectly normal, everyday idea. Let's put a door and an elevator block. So if I throw a door right there and some elevator blocks like that, I should be able to just walk over and jump up and go in. Excellent. I have a way into my ship, at least into the back of the ship. I'll do something else in the front. That should be fine. Let's put in a couple of these guys. I'm going to place them on either side of the core. Because I can. Alright, so now that I can actually rotate the ship, let's go see if we can fly this thing. Okay, goes up pretty quick. Goes forward very quick. does not stop because I have no forward-facing thrusters. However, I can turn right. I like it so far. How's it look? I mean, obviously it has a lot more work to be done. And it drifts. But I believe if I do this, I stay perfectly stable. I like it so far. Okay, we have some more work to do. Let's go set this back down. Setting this back down might not be as easy as it sounds without forward thrusters. Oop, did it again. This is a lot easier in Space Engineers because if you rotate, it uses thrusters to stop you. This does not work the same in this game. It's so funny. I can go backward, but I can't stop my forward movement. The logic is amazing in this game. We're just going to go ahead and set this as close as we can here. Hop out, turn off, and we should be fine enough to at least get some of those thrusters we're missing. So this is going to be the actual bottom of the ship right here. So we might as well at this point put on a landing gear because this is where the landing gear will go. Should do this. Yeah. Like that. I need more landing gear, but that's the general idea. Now, for forward stopping force, I have another thought. So let's get a little bit more of this combat hardened armor here. I'm going to go up to about there. And I don't, believe it or not, I'm not going to worry too much about forward stopping, like stopping thrusters. I know you think I'm crazy right now, and that's because I am. Later on, we'll be adding in something else. I think that'll work pretty well. It won't stop the ship fast, but that's okay. I don't think it's going to be an issue. Let's check the performance really quick. So that's forward. We got left and right. I also discovered that I can't really go down, which is... oh, I just hit X and then hit the space bar. I'm not playing Space Engineers. This is not how this works. However, I do have this. There we go. So I'm thinking we need something pointing straight up. I could put it here. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Put one on the outsides too. Why not? Oh, but that's actually not the top of the ship. I just realized. That's okay. We'll do this. So there's my combat steel blocks. I need more of those. Do I have more of those? I do not. I will need to get more. We'll get to that later. And then I'll do this. And I can put more combat steel here once I have it. Alright, so the question is, can I go forward, up, down? I'm actually kind of impressed at how quickly I stopped, too. Not too bad at all. Well, the sun is going down yet again, so I'm going to try to just make some more thrusters, another landing gear. I need a whole lot more combat steel. I think I've got my work cut out for me for a little bit. Boy, oh boy, does time fly when you're playing this game. Is it just me, or is this game just always beautiful? It's probably just me. Anyway, I've been working all night long, and I have done quite a bit of work. Well, it's kind of redundant, isn't it? I like this. This has really come along nicely. So I've moved all of my stuff over to the storage boxes here, There's nothing down there anymore. And I've put in a fair amount. Let's see. Let's grab this guy. And I'm okay with it so far. Still got a lot of shaping to do. We're going to have to add some more armor over here. Etc., etc. What in the world is that? Oh, I know what that is. Ha! I was playing around with shutters because I realized that whoever it was that was talking about these shutters was actually talking about these shutters. So I was playing around with that, but actually these are going to work out better for this kind of thing. I think what they were suggesting was that I could use those shutters over windows and then close them when in battle or something like that. I don't know. It's a good idea, but I like this better. Anyway, I am starting to run low on iron, and I have placed, I believe, where did I put them? There's a promethium, a copper, and yeah, there we go. And an iron auto miner thing out there. I should probably fix up the bus because it would be faster. But yeah, then I'd have to fix up the bus, you know? And this is pretty cool. What are you shooting at? Let's see. What have you gathered for me? 215. Not very much. Have a fusion cell. That should last you a while. This is my lowest level one, so I'm not surprised that it didn't get much. The other two are my higher level ones, so let's go find those. I can't remember if this is the tier 2 or the tier 3. This is a tier 3. So it ran out of power, but it got me 600 and something. Let's go ahead and... Well, good grief. Just get them all. I honestly don't remember. Oh, it's almost out of power as well. So in about the same amount of time, you can see that the tier 1, the tier 2, and the tier 3 have pretty clear differences. It's just about double and then triple. Let's get this thing processing. Well, not that. Not promethium. I was actually running low on promethium over here. I was down to 132. And I want it to make a whole bunch more... Let me see. Where is it? There it is. A whole bunch more fusion cells. Make me fusion cells. All the fusion cells. Anyway, that's really all I have for you this episode. I think next episode we're going to get into finishing off the armor and then taking this thing out for a test drive, because there's not a whole lot left to do. You know what I mean? And I think I've got a little bit of spare fuel. Write down in the comments what you think so far, what you think I need to add, what I've forgotten. I mean, obviously I still need to put on turrets. That's a big deal. That's like the whole purpose of this thing. It's basically a way to carry turrets. So, yeah. What do you think of my armor so far? Is it okay? I know it's not great. It's got to be okay, right? Well, hopefully. Hopefully. So make sure and hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe. Come by the Discord server. Check out my Patreon page. And I'll see you next time on Epic Tech.